Hello there, viewers. Good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you guys are here. I am super glad to be here as always. Today's project is some kind of Ram 1500. I think it's like a 2017. Let me check the door plate in here and find out what our year is. Oh, I had it right on the money. Build date of 9/17. It could be an 18. Some of them transferred over after September. Let's do a mileage check real quick. What we're going to do here on this truck, where's the key at? Oh, there it is. Push button. There we go. Okay, mileage check. We've got 118,186.9 miles on the odometer. The customer states that the radiator, however you say it, tomato, syrup, the radiator is leaking some coolant. He's got a faint engine coolant smell, and I think that yeah, there's some coolant right there. Yeah, the radiator's got a leak. He wants me to replace the radiator, but they also have provided, and this is the meat and potatoes of the job here. We've got a ZF transmission upgraded oil pan slash filter set right here. This is a PPE aluminum unit, and what I meant by filter is the filters on these particular transmissions is integrated into the cover. Now, the reason for the upgrade is the factory covers on these things are plastic, and people don't like the plastic ones. Plastic doesn't transfer heat very well, so we're going to install this aluminum version with these heat sinks right here, and that's going to help to remove some heat from the transmission fluid. Because as you guys should know, heat is the #1 killer of transmissions, automatic transmissions. While we're in there, we've got a couple little shift kit things or thermostat bypass deals or something like that. We're going to install a thermostat spring upgrade in the temperature control unit for this transmission. So as you can see, we've already got the rack set up to save us some time. Let's get this thing up in the air and get started on it. Let's mosey on around over here to our green subscribe button, engage this unit, and let's run her up. Moving on up. Here we go. We're going all the way up with this one. We're going to roll the oil drain pan down below, take a look at the plastic engineering from Stellantis over here, and then we're going to begin the repair operation. Up, tight squeeze. We're about to interfere with that light over there. Put this open. Okay, I think that's probably about good. Let's set her down on the locks for safety. Rule number 1 is don't die today. Rule number 2 is don't die at work. And honoring rule number 1 and 2, I always give a visual on the lift points after the vehicle is up in the air. You never know, things can change, and we don't want them to change against our favor. So down below here is the unit in question. This is the ZF8 transmission. It's an 8-speed, and this situation is the problem with this transmission pan. It's plastic. People don't like plastic. Now, they've tried to engineer some heat sinks into this to help pull heat out of the fluid, but the problem is plastic's not a very good conductor of heat. So they sort of missed the mark on design principles with this guy right here. It was probably cheaper to make that way, and it was good enough, so whatever. As long as it carries us through warranty, the OEMs don't care. Now, before I go and spend a bunch of time under here, let's engage contingency plan number 2. We're going to put a pole jack under this front cross member just for some stabilizations here. Again, don't die at work. You know, that concept is such an important part about my day. I even made a t-shirt about it. No, seriously, I'm not kidding. You can find them. They're over at rainmanauto.com. Yep, right there. You need to know what you're doing so you don't die. Got hoodies and t-shirts. Pretty nice units too, no cheapo Chinesium. By the way, fun fact, they're on sale right now because it's summertime. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, in which case I can't ship to you, so they're on sale right now. It's summertime. Okay, that's enough shameless self-promotion. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this business. Looks like we're gonna need some Torx Plus sockets right here. We'll get all these fasteners out of the perimeter of this guy and drain it down and get it out. And while we're doing that, super big shout out to Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. He was in the shop working on some of his F350 Florida customers and F250 Florida customers, and he noticed that my drain pan was kind of junk, so he ordered me the one he uses at his shop, and this is a fantastic unit. So today's video is sponsored in part by Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod. He didn't pay me, but he just bought me this because he's my friend, but I figured I'd give him the plug anyway, since I had the opportunity. So anyway, let's squeeze this unit down under here. Start getting this thing torn down and ready to rock and roll. All right, let's get this party started. We've got Torx bit right here. It's a T40. We'll pull all these guys right on out. Oop, gravity. No matter, we'll get it. Next. So with the front sides removed, as the rear fasteners come out, this thing is going to hinge downward, and you can see it's already starting to self-drain. There we go. That big mouth pan's helping out. Look at that. No spillages. This is nice. Okay, so this little guy in the back is kind of getting caught up by the exhaust. It should go without saying, I'm trying to get this thing snuck out of here without removing the exhaust. My guy did not supply any exhaust gaskets on this, and we didn't plan on that part, so I need to, gravity again. I need to figure out how to do this without taking the pipe down. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, the pipe is like right underneath of this guy. Let me show you guys a cool little trick. So we've got our Torx bit right here, and I have with me an 8mm wrench. Okay, so what we're going to do is I can get the socket in, but I can't get an extension on it because the pipe will break it loose with the wrench. There we go. Throw my socket on the ground again. No problem. And walk it out. No, I did not hurt the fastener by doing that just now. See that? It's fine. Calm down, everybody. It's all good. It's all good. Calm down. We need more remaining calm these days. Oh, we're spilling. It's running. There we go. I did spill some. No worries. It's the nature of draining fluids. They tend to spill on occasion. Let me get this last bolt out back here. We'll get this pan all the way down. I think that's the last one. I believe we're good to go. Let's go ahead and pull this thing down some. The filter is hanging it up. There we go. Okay, there she is. Filter's out, pan is out. Let's take a look. Ooh, I see some little, is that bubbles or metal? Oh, it's bubbles. Maybe both, maybe a little bit of metal, yeah. Look right over. Look right over here. Stop gravitying me, you thing. Stay put. Okay, look right here. A little bit of metal kind of flaking out of this. Some in the magnet up here. There's a little magnet right there. You guys see that? That's like a metal slurry. That's normal wear. There's no chunks in here. If we start seeing chunks and big pieces, that's a problem. But what we have so far is oakley dokley, no big deal. Okay, we are now over at the bench here. I've got the plastic pan in hand. One thing I want to notice about this, see these metal inserts hanging out around the perimeter of this pan? I took this one out already. Those metal inserts are in there to prevent the fasteners from over torquing, or I should say, it's not really torque, it's to prevent them from putting too much clamping force on the plastic and breaking it. So that metal insert there will not crush when the fastener is torqued down. It's going to keep that thing from snapping off. What I've noticed here is that the PPE pan did not come with any kind of insert like that. So effectively, there is a ½ inch of play in any direction whatsoever that this thing can move around, because the inside diameter of these inserts is what locates the pan with regarding to the fastener placement. So the guy who owns this, he said the forums on these, you know how I feel about forums, but he said the people in the forums were indifferent on whether to install the inserts or not to install the inserts. I'm going to attempt to do it with the inserts there, because I believe that's the better way to do it. So we're just going to take this extension here, knock these guys out, and then we will tap them in to the new PPE transmission pan. Don't want to lose them. Probably can't get new ones if I lose it. I'm sure they're... Whoa! That was crazy sauce. You guys died. Here, let's try it from over here. Maybe it won't fall off this time. Okay. That's all the inserts. We're going to put this thing exactly where it belongs. Right in the trash can. Goodbye. We don't need that. Junk. Low quality junk. So now, I'm going to take this pan here. I'm going to give it a flip, and we're going to tap those inserts in and see how this works out. What I'm noticing though is that with the one, I did put one in just to see how it fit. This one does protrude a little bit. See how we're just proud of flush right here? And then right there, it's a little bit extra proud of flush. So I'm hoping that the gasket thicknesses on this is going to compensate for that. Otherwise, we'll be doing it twice. Personally, I would prefer to avoid doing this job 2 times. I don't want to do it twice. Once is enough. This is actually the easy part. After this, I've got to, we got to install that temperature bypass valve thing that we have here. I might have to make that a separate video, because it looks like the transmission oil cooler has to be removed, and that could potentially take more time than this right here. Just tap it on in there. The fitment is definitely a little bit tighter on this unit. You guys fell down again. I'm sorry. I wasn't watching you. It appears that my camera is well lubricated. Darling! I see you!
Do you need me to order a filter?
Only if you come over here so we can look at you. You gotta come over here. What do you need?
Oil filter.
For this Ramicus truck right here?
Yes.
This one? That one? The red one?
Yes.
This one right here? An oil filter?
Oil filter.
For the engine? I do.
The engine oil.
I would love an engine oil filter. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. That's her mandatory forced wife unit. What do you want to call it? Her mandatory appearance. There we go. Oh, hey, by the way, speaking of wife unit, you guys remember that syrup debate over there? It appears that with good reason from all that involved that participated in the comment section about whether you call it syrup or syrup, it appears that everyone is right. Everyone seems to be right. Whether you call it syrup or syrup, however you say it, we all know it's maple deliciousness. I think the thing with language is if people understand you, then you're probably using the right language. Now, if you come around asking for a buggy, that's a different story. There's no buggies. I mean, there are buggies. Those are like baby buggies. But when you're shopping at the grocery store with a cart, you have a shopping cart, not a buggy. This channel's just going to turn into like word violence. Can we put aside our linguistic differences? Okay, these guys are all in position-ish. I went a little too far and they're all kind of proud of flush. We'll just tap them back. Actually, no, they should be, because the gasket. I was right. I want them flush on this side. Silly rabbit Ray. Changing your mind halfway through. Can't be doing that. There. Okay, let's see how effective this is going to be. We're going to take our gasket here. Now this is the Mopar gasket. It's the factory original. We've got this little teat sticking out right there. I'm assuming that's going to get inserted into this little guide pin hole thing right over here. Here. Tell you what, let's just flip it around. Now you can see it closer. Yeah, see a little hole? One would assume that the pin goes in the hole, and then the protrusion on the gasket's going to ride in this groove that is machined into this aluminum casting. This is sand cast. I wish it were die cast. PPE makes pretty nice stuff. It would be way more nicer if they would get away from the sand casting and up the ante to die casting. I think that's the new standard these days, man. Sand casting's the kind of the old way. The problem with sand casting is it can leave voids and holes in your casting, and it can also leave inconsistencies in your casting, and in a worst case scenario you can have sand left over that makes its way into the casting and then it comes out later on like it's stuck in the surface or whatever. Next thing you know, your car part has a bunch of sand circulating inside of it. And I realize that that shouldn't occur, but when you start manufacturing a bunch of stuff, those types of oversights are actually quite common. So anyway, this pan is ready to rock and roll, it looks like. So the next hurdle is going to be sneaking this thing in over that exhaust. Let's see if it's going to fit. Okay, moment of truth. We're coming in with transmission pin. Nice, yep, that slips right in. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab some fluid on that transmission, and I'm going to put it around the O-ring on that filter. Get a little wet. The filter plugs in right here into this hole. See the hole right there? That's the intake for the pump. So let's give this some wiggles. There we go. That felt good. Went right in. And we're now going to locate it with some fasteners. I'll do one on either side. That'll kind of balance out the weight, says I. One on this side on the left. All right, we're in. Let's get it fastened down. It slipped down and the filter popped out of the hole, so we're just gonna put that one in a little farther. There we go. Next, we'll get the back ones and then we'll tighten these guys down. Make the fasteners fastened. So far I'm happy with my choice to put those inserts in. I think they're supposed to go there. I don't know why the fella said there was controversy on that topic. Couple slippages. Clicks. The last one that I'm going to tighten down is that one that I couldn't get the tool on. Couple up front. Okay, torque these later. No. This is so awkward trying to make that go in there. Okay, now it's lined up straight. It's so slippery. It's well lubricated with petroleum transmission fluids. Seriously? Ah, why? Oh no, I'm like stuck on, can't do anything. It's too slick to push up. You gotta be kidding me, man. Come on, there we go. Click, that one's tight, for sure. Okay, we are now on the passenger side of this transmission, and we've got to pull this plug out right here. That is our fill plug. Now that's a Torx 50, and I've got it combined with the low profile snap-on ratchet right here. See why I had to choose the low pro one? There's not a lot of space at that exhaust. Just give this a bit of an unclick. There we go. Pull our fill plug out. Now, the fill procedure on this is going to be interesting because this transmission sits at a downward angle, and the fill procedure requires it to be level. So we either have to back the truck up on some ramps in the back to make the front rake down to make this level, or readjust the lift extensions and then relift it to make it level. I haven't decided which method I'm going to use yet, but we'll cross that bridge after we reach operating temperature, because filling this up and then trying to run it and set level unless it's warm, well, that's not going to work. We're not going to do that until after I do the that fluid bypass pressure valve type of deal thing inside of the cooler right here. It's located inside of this housing right there under that line, so we have to remove this cooler, get it on the bench in order to replace those little springs and plugs and whatnots for the thermostat. So let's grab the fella's Mopar transmission fluid and get it pumped in there. So as for fluid, I've got 10 quarts of the Mopar ZF 8 and 9 speed automatic transmission fluid. This stuff that goes in here. This fluid they gave us is the stuff that is it's like gold in color, not a typical transmission fluid. Pour some out, and then you can see it. Yeah, it's kind of gold in color, similar to what came out of the transmission over there. Some of these you'll find that they're dyed red. I believe the same transmission fluid in the BMWs is dyed green or blue, things of that nature. Anyway, I've got all that fluid poured into this delivery device right here. It uses pressure and or a venturi to turn into a suctioning device or into a pressure delivery device. So we're interested in the pressure section of this tool today. Let's get some airline plugged into it right there. Now, if you guys recall, last time I used this, it was to prime the engine oil system on my Silverado. So we've got some Amsoil break-in engine oil still sitting inside of there. We don't want to put break-in oil inside of a German transmission, do we? So we're going to go ahead and purge this out of the lines. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack this open some, and we're going to give this thing a little bit of a squeeze. It's going to pressurize that vessel. It's going to take all that fluid and it's going to pump it out, and we're just going to purge this until we get the gold transmission fluid to come out of it. So you guys hang out right here and kind of watch the business end of this guy. I'm going to reach down and hit that little lever and pressurize this unit. Here's our red. gold fluid right there. So we are now purged of all the oil. So then we're gonna come back up here, shove that guy in the hole as far as it's gonna go. Bring the drain back over because it's gonna overflow in a second when it's full gravity. And now we foot lever operate this unit. We're gonna pump that fluid into the trans. We'll pump it in until it overflows, then we'll stop. Long range pumping. Pressure pumping, look at that. Gonna hang out and do this thing for a while. It's like revving up an engine. Two strokes. Yeah, still going. Oh look, we got spillage. There we go, see that? All right, we have overflow and there's plenty left in the bottle. Let's go ahead and close off the valve here. That way it stops delivering. Pull that guy out. Let it drain, that's probably good. Put the plug back in for now. Then we'll have to come back and recheck that at a later time. Leave that right there. So at this point, we've successfully made an oil-soaked fluid mess. You guys know we can't let cars leave in this condition. Stuff up. Denko brake clean. I say unofficial because they don't pay me to do this, but I do retail their products on rainmanauto.com as well as the merch shelf down below this video. So if you guys would like yourself some primo best of the best brake clean at a fantastic price, especially you shop owners out there, check out the merch shelf down below. We'll sell it to you in bulk if you want. I got cases of it, I got drums of it, I've got whole skids of it. I'm trying to be the Costco of brake cleaner around here, so let's get this hosed off nice and shiny like. Fingerprints gone. The irony is I'm probably gonna make another mess pulling this thing off over here. But at least I got the moment of shameless self-promotion ready to rock and roll before this video drug on too far. Uh-oh, running low. Oh no! Dave, I'm out of brake cleaner now! We are now moving on to the phase 2 of this operation here, and we need to get this cooler assembly out. I hung up on my words because I was noticing this is one piece here and then the bracket is bolted to it. I wanted to make sure I didn't have to take this thing off, which I don't think I do. We're going to try to pull it out with the bracket if it will do such things. I've never had one of these apart to do this operation before, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go. We're gonna be learning together. So let's see how this second half of this operation is gonna treat us here. Looks like we've got the 2 nuts down here. There's gotta be a third one somewhere, right? You can't just be bolting on with 2. I'm probably going to have to pull these studs out. And from the looks of things, somebody may have already made this attempt because I saw witness marks from a tool on this fastener, and there's also some on these studs right here. There's that third one. I knew it was there somewhere. You see it? Right up here in that bracket. Sorry, I hit you. Na, 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 na. I live my life a quarter turn at a time. Ding, 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 ding. Are you come off there or not? What is this? pleasing me. I know, we're gonna swap torque for horsepower here. Now I live my life a quarter turn at a time, but faster. Okay, nut removed. Hose bracket thing removed-ish. That's free. Oh yeah, and it's leaking fluid out of it. I guess that seals up against the transmission, like right there. I don't know how this is gonna have to come out of here. This is, man, I gotta take off those lines in order to get this to come out. And there's coolant in there. Scheisse. So I believe I'm gonna have to remove these studs. Got an E-Torx socket, inverted. Splines in right there like that. Take the stud out. Another one up top right here. Okay, gonna come down now. Nope, because there is a coolant hose. Let me show you guys. Some hoses back in there that need to be removed. Okay. Put that right there. What's up, brother? What you need? Oh, Dave's got you. Good. Awesome. I don't think he maybe even heard me. That's fine though. Okay, at this point, it's not possible for me to get that other line off, so I think I definitely have to take this cooler apart. Let's pull the bolts out of it. Take the cooler off the bracket. I probably should have done that first, but hindsight, I don't know what I'm doing. That's just the way. That's a bright light in our face too. I don't like that. Give me that magnet light. Put that over here. All right, that's 2 volts, and there's one more up top. It better just be one. No, there's 2 up there. I feel it. There's the second one. So let's split the cooler in half now. Somebody put silicone on there. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Let me show you something. Look at how this arrangement's working with these lines. One line is going through the others. See that? Now I need this thing to come down and out. I don't like this. You know, regardless on my feelings on the matter, the fact remains that I still need to get this thing removed. As stupid as the design may be, in my humble opinion, of course, okay, that clip is halfway out. Now the clip is all the way out. Set that thing aside. All right, bottom half of the cooler's out. Yay. Okay, first things first, let's get all the sealant off of this surface right here. Go over it with a super scraper. Taking great care to not get any sealant down inside of that oil hole right there. That would be great for the engine's bearings. Not a razor blade, it's a actual, I call it the super scraper. I believe there was an offshoot brand of these once, they called them super scraper. It's basically a tungsten carbide machined tip that's super flat and kind of sharp on its edges too. It's designed to really get under that sealant and peel it away. You have to use caution on aluminum though, because this will dig into the aluminum, put a big old gouge in it. That would be bad. Okay. There we go. I said oil cooler, like this goes into the engine oil. I thought I was working on a Duramax. Just occurred to me. This is a transmission cooler. Same principle applies though. We do not want RTV sealant floating around inside of our transmission. All right, well now we've cleaned off all the rigmarole. I am super PO'd because the instructions just told me to remove this in order to change out that little plunger and spring thing that I got here. Yeah, so you go to the instructions and they say to remove it and then pull this snap ring out, and the affected part is inside of here. I could have done this without doing that. I could have just done this in the chassis without taking this cooler out. That's why I don't read instructions. Now I just wasted all that time for no reason. So anyway, there's this thing. This is what we're supposed to be changing. Let's see what we have in the boxes and bags. I have this little guy, which I'm assuming goes here. Then I've got this guy right here. I guess that's the plug. Is that how this works? Yeah, sure. So I'm still reading the instructions here. This comes out. I guess the point is to replace this with a different spring. This is our thermostat type of deal. So this comes out. We take this, put that in there, put this in there. This doesn't seem right, does it? Sure, I guess. Let's check the spacing on this whole deal. That goes here, this goes here. This one, man, I don't know about all this. This one goes on here. What is going on? This is, I'm not happy about this. What the instructions say is not how this is actually working. I mean, it says it's supposed to look like that. Right? So I guess that's right. And then we just jam this thing on and in, and that's it. Don't make no sense, but okay. No, hey, yeah, look, it's got that little deal in there. There's a bunch of space at the end of this, onto that. I guess that's correct. Okay. That in the hole. No. This needs to stay on here somehow, some way. This one was stuck on, so why can't this one gets stuck onto it. I don't like this. Okay, rereading instructions, because doesn't seem right where I have to take this thing off. It appears that the only thing I'm putting back in is this. That's the whole deal. This was way more complicated than it had to be. And I feel that it bottoms out. So yeah, that's our little bypass thermostat thing, whatever. So put that back in and then snap ring it. Yeah, I could have totally done this in the chassis, and I absolutely did this the hardest way imaginable, because I could have done this. Super unhappy about that. Now I know, I never did this before. I tried. Anyway, let's throw some new sealant on here to go with the sealant that we just took off and put this thing back together. Yay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I overcomplicated this operation in the worst way humanly imaginable. I should have just done my normal and just went straight for the glory. But I wanted to follow the instructions like the pictures told me, and I did, and it cost me. No more instructions for this guy. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm so bitter. I swear I thought I was supposed to put the thing in here. Mistakes for me, mistakes for you. I make mistakes, you don't have to. Let's put these trans lines back in all sideways and wrong. Come on, thank you, there we go. Remember, one of them hooks down in this dumbest way. Now that I know I didn't have to do this, I am super unhappy. And it's like 5 o'clock, time to go home. Okay, squeezing those transmission lines back in. One just snapped into place. And the front one also into place. Let me throw some sealant right in here real quick, like, and we'll bolt this thing back on to where it goes. Okay, some sealant's on there. Did that when you guys weren't looking. Now I would like to take this guy and put it back up against the bracket where it goes. Clearly the hose wants to go back into its home. That's great.
Equalize or compensate?
Do hose compensate, sir. Not equalize, always do hose compensate. Let's get the bolts in for the cooler to bracket first, and then we'll do the bracket to transmission after. I want to get the mating surface set up on the sealant as soon as possible. Stick. There we go. And then there's there's two of them up high. You guys never saw me pull those out. Probably not going to see me put them back in either, because there's no visual access here. Nah, wrong way. Come on, dude, no. I just took that bolt out that I just spent a bunch of time screwing with. Oi. See, this is why I don't follow instructions. So next time I don't read those directions, you guys need to just calm down and let me do what I do, okay? I'm the guy. I know what I'm doing here. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. That's how it's gonna be from now on. I am my own instructions. There. Yay. Okay, that's back on. The coolant lines. Oh, hang on, I gotta need to pull this whole rigmarole down one more time. That way I can put the clips back in trans cooler lines. They're snapped into place, but the retainer clips are not in. Needed the space, so we're gonna pop this guy off once more and get the clippy clips in. These are E-clips. Yeah, come on, clip. There we go. One. Okay. Messing with it. Clip is in. And the little plastic guy went on without hammering it, which is awesome. So, back to where we first started from with this hose. Put that on. Hose clamp pliers. Starting to have a case of the 5 o'clocks. Getting a little weird in the head. The 5 o'clocks is a real thing. All done-y. Plug it back in. Gaskets are in. Screw that guy in. Are we there yet? I'm all done with this thing. There's the stud. Third stud in the front. Then we do E-Torx and then 13mm nut to cinch down on the studs. Okay. Studs do not require torque. You just bottom it out. That's all. Which technically there is torque there, but you know what I meant. Actually, I'm sure there is a torque spec out there somewhere for a stud. I don't know what it is, but it's out there. So we're just gonna say click and that's gonna be good enough. Right? There's the nut, you can't see. There's the other nut. Good. There's the third nut. Also good. Nice. Okay. Let's put the shift linkage back on real quick and we can fire this thing up and do a leak check on it. Yeah, see, I had taken, look at that. I could have done it right through here. This is bull crap. I'm never following the instructions again on a car. It's over. Never again. Another Torx. It's gonna go right in there. Or it's gonna go right down there. There we go, another Torx. It's gonna go right in there. Yeah, there it is. Almost-ish. Yeah, not all the way. There we go. Yay! It's back together. Okay, now that I'm done being my own worst enemy, we can clean all this rigmarole off of here. Time for round 2. Hose that down with some cleaner. Make it re-shiny again. Brake clean in my face twice. So pretty. All right, Dodge Ramicus. Come off the lot. Got the jack stand removed. Time to let her down. I don't like this. All right, Dodge coming down. We're good. All the way down. That wasn't a political statement, by the way. It's not the right Doge. This is a Doge like Dodge, not Doge like the meme coin or the oversight thing. Not that Doge. This is a different Doge. Don't get mad at me for talking about Doge. Actually, you know what? You can get mad at me if you want, because I've realized that you can't control other people's emotions, and if somebody wants to take something the wrong way and out of context, then there's nothing I can do about that. So you can get mad at me for talking about Doges if you want. You know what I meant when I was talking about Doge. You just want a reason to be like, oh my God, you said that on the internet, no. Yeah, that's all that is. So yeah, I'm not worried about your hophelioma. I'm more worried about this Doge right here. Yeah, if you think I'm intentionally offending people or trying to start it, then that's on you, man. I don't participate in such things. I own a business, man. I can't afford to be political. That's stupid. You run off half your customer base, or at least 30% of them. I didn't do that, but I'm gonna clean it off. There we go, nice and shiny. Okay, well, she's running. Oh, I smell that coolant the guy was talking about. Definitely a radiator. We're gonna have to save that one for another day. And since I think there's transmission fluid running through there, I can't set the level on this just yet, because I got to pull the lines off over here to do the radiator. So I think that being said, since we've got the time clock thing telling us that it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Have to pick this one back up in the morning. I might get Dave to do it, I'm not sure yet. I don't like doing radiators. But anyway, guys, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and power this unit down. Shutting down, powering off, all donezo. We're gonna wrap it up, we're gonna close it up, we're getting on home, we're all done here. Thank you guys for watching this video. As always, let me know what you think about this operation, these parts, that plastic nonsense, and this Doge in general in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a great day. In a video, in a day, in a Doge Ramicus, in a transmission. No pun intended.